And we're live. How's it going? My name's Will Forge, and we will forge. Um, Welcome to the stream. So basically, we're just going to try to get back into Waterworks and try and get it finished out. I did discover this person just now, like literally 20 minutes ago, and it seems pretty cool. Pengy Plays. He makes Forge tutorials. This is how to script a destructible object, which could be useful if you want to make like a column that can be shot down or something like that. So if you see there in the lower right corner, yeah, it's called. His name is Pengy Plays, like a penguin. Pengi Plays, and I think that he's gonna be pretty helpful for a lot of people. Whoop! No, don't play somebody else's video. Okay, here we go. Auto-played a video whenever I went to put it back up there. Alright. So here we go. So as you can see, I have done some off-stream work, as usual. I haven't put lights in those yet, but I did set them all up. I also did a couple of other things, quality of life stuff, like I was using up a lot of pieces in these, and I stretched them across instead of having each column be a separate piece. I did the same thing over here, except for that those pieces up there are individual pieces, and I'm going to stretch them across and fix it. I also started on the bridge and got that thing done pretty much. Built a nice little railing. I was about to get to the part where there's a light here, so I had to make it different. So I left that out for now. Yeah, so this is all coming along quite nicely. I built out this light. It's got a big old spotlight. I also changed the lighting a lot. I kept on saying, I'm not going to change the lighting yet. I'm not going to change the lighting yet. Why are these not lighting up? Wait, are they? Yeah, they are. Okay. They seem really dark gray. But that's probably just a product of the fact that the sunlight is shining directly on it. So anyway, I kept on saying I'm not going to adjust the lighting over and over and over again, and then finally went, you know, I think I will. I think I'm going to adjust the lighting for now. So this is a sort of, maybe not final, lighting of these rooms. I can't wait to get that glowing flag there, but this is what we're looking at right now. I really hope they add a flag object. They don't even have like a decal for like the eagle and the cobra, which was surprising to me. I looked and looked and couldn't find one anyway. If you are aware of one, please let me know in the comments and all that kind of stuff. By the way, if you do like what you're seeing, like and subscribe, all that stuff, like a YouTuber needs to do, a good YouTuber. Yeah, we'll go on this this forge journey together as I make all sorts of maps. I am going to. I was thinking about this last time I was forging. Just like, yeah, I'm just gonna bring this in. This is... Oop, no. It doesn't need to be moved. It just needs to be scaled. Doesn't need to go beyond, like, this area. And then I can duplicate it and sort of snap it to there, if it'll snap to it, the other one. No, please ignore that and just snap to the other one. Let's see what we got. That's not good. Let's delete it. Come down here and select it this way, and then duplicate it again, and it will already be snapped to position. Of course, now that means I can't do this very easily, but if I rotate it, yeah, that should work. There we go. Alright, and then over here in the wider portion, I think I'll put another square of it. Hopefully that'll work out as a good method of that. Duplicate. Okay, here we go. The reason I'm doing this is because it's the way it was before, it'll be a lot harder to make the rocks coming up on the exterior. So yeah, it's using a few more extra pieces, and I could have potentially kept it as the other way, but we're looking at 28% used of the map so far, and it's mostly there. That is 22% of the map, or maybe just 20% if you account for the stuff that's down there. It's about 20, it's like 18 to 22%, somewhere in that range. So that's you know, obviously a very formidable resource limit. It's nice. We have a very nice resource limit in Forge this time around. I can't wait to see the kind of maps that will explore that fully. Like, to bring it all the way to its maximum will be not like a goal. Like, to use up the maximum is not really a goal, but it's like when it happens and it's actually valuable, it's going to be pretty mind-blowing when someone uses it to enhance the map, to improve it. Alright, so W, go turn off magnets. This one kind of got a little, height got a little messed up. So I gotta get some precision here. It doesn't want to go just right. Unless that is just right. Oof. Broke my selection. There, my deselect all button. There we go. Is that just right? Really hard to tell. Anyway, let's look at it from below. So it's introducing these seams, so I think I might extend that one into this one, so that the seam sort of disappears. For the most part, it'll dissolve a lot of it. Like if we just go like this. Well, the seam is definitely thinner, but it's still a little bit there. Maybe I should just use one single piece. And that one's definitely Z fighting. Maybe it was a mistake to switch to more than one piece. Maybe the better option would be to have one long piece, then that's just not as wide, because if I have it this width, it'll be easier to not come out the stone. It's mainly that it was like these stone is going to be like colliding with this, and I need to move this floor in as well. I need to be able to bring this in like this, and because I want to keep the texture the way I had it, I need to bring the floor in on this side as well, and make it basically around the same area, because the floor textures were lining up nicely down the middle, and I want to keep that. So basically, now that they're lined up that way, I'll be able to build out the rocks around this very easily. And it does actually come out higher, like farther, and then kind of curve back in around the doorway, so that should work out just fine. Yeah, so I think that this one, yeah, I'm going to use this to sort of get my ceiling off of, because this one I can readjust. I can adjust it to be exactly as wide as I need it, and then I can extend it back over there. Let's see. Okay, I think that's right. And this should be right around there. Okay. Yeah, so these pieces I will delete. And if this doesn't quite touch where it needs to touch, yeah, it looks like it doesn't. Okay. So I will have to go out into that piece and out into that piece. So that should be fine. That'll kind of get rid of the that seam, I guess. which is important for the final visual of the map on the interior. Let's see, here we go. Very nice. Okay. Now over here, I did clip it into it to try and eliminate as much of it as I could, but yeah, that looks about right. And I made this ceiling like this where I adjusted the reflection, like the metalness, down, and I made it, you know, look a little more like the original ceiling, and it looks really nice and gnarly and rusty like the original, and I like that, mainly because, let's see, if I go into Master Chief Collection, oof, there it goes, okay, it's loading, oof, how's it going? I just saw you commented, yo. There we go. It's really rusty and gnarly. It's very matte in the original one, so I wanted to sort of try and capture that. Looking good, man. Thanks. Oop, it's making me shoot. Switching off sometimes does that. It doesn't always do that. For some reason, it does some of the time. There we go. Okay, so basically, look, they have a seam right there. Wow, that's really obvious. I'll put my seam in the exact same place they put their seam. How's that? Look, they have a seam there too. Man, if I had left it like that, it would have been more one-to-one. I put my seams in the exact same places they had put them, pretty much. If I had just adjusted to where they were. Wow. No, I like the continuous ceiling I just set up more. And then but I have to do a seam here to make it go that way. Otherwise, I have to make a giant square roof that's going to be sticking out of the rock, and it would be terrible. So, yeah, that's not what I want to do. So basically, they have it lined up with there, which is this side of this column. So I'll just line mine up there, if I can. There. That's why I switched to the pistol. By the way, I picked up that pistol so that whenever I switch, if it oh, you know, I can't change this one's thickness, so or else I lose it up there. So if I do that, then you know, that's the only way I would be able to get to one-to-one there, and I'm not really worried about that too much. Now this one is supposed to be, this is the same exact thickness, and for some reason I just can't get it to line up. So like, if I just mouse over here, grab this, I should be able to just, oh yeah, there we go. I wasn't wanting to do it earlier whenever I was below. I guess I had a bad angle. But yeah, there we go. Much better. I'm not sure what's going on with this dark area here. Like why the lighting is creating this sort of dark band. Because like there are literally lights shining directly at it here. Very strange. I can understand why it's happening over here. Maybe? No, it still doesn't make any sense. Oh, is that my other... Okay, I know what's happening. Ah. You have a similar problem. I know what's happening. Oh, I saw someone who had a similar problem. I might have just figured out what happened to theirs. Unfortunately, I don't know where that is. Anyway, as you can see, roughness is at 6 here. Roughness is at 0 here. So I need to make a match. Because that's that stripe. Because I used a regular block. I've been just basically grabbing what I need from, and like repeating it. There we go. That cleared that up, and that means it's on this one as well. Actually go down, because it's faster. Okay, so I thought that was a shadow over there, or something like that from these lights or something, but it turns out that was always the same exact issue. Well, that definitely looks nicer. I probably had that going on with the other pieces, and it might have been why it felt so weird that I had multiple pieces in the ceiling. But now that it's one continuous piece, I think it looks really nice anyway. Okay. Yeah, so we've got the bridge started. And I've got this tunnel over here started. I was at the 90 degree. Sorry, 45 degree. And it is a 45 degree angle. which means that we need its length to be double that of its... Oh no, I made objects and I haven't selected my folder yet. Okay, close the pump shroud. I can close this for now, close that for now. Somehow some of my mode stuff ended up in another folder by accident, and it was like, hey, the shrinking zone, look at that. It was like, where was it? Power seeds or something? Oh, maybe strongholds? I don't remember. Something is in one of my other folders, and it's not supposed to be. I don't know how it got in there. I must have accidentally clicked the wrong thing at some point. Okay, here we go. Not rename. Move to tunnel and bridge. Get rid of the central body. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay. Select it, deselect it. Okay, so what I want to do is, well, they're in my, oh wait, right, haven't selected it. Right click, set as working folder. Now every new thing I build will be in that folder. And that means if I come over here to this locked one, and I look at this, and I hit duplicate, so I've got a piece that's like the floor piece, that has the floor texture and everything, and is a triangle, then I can go into here, well, not into here, into here. Whoa, okay, the game just crashed. Really, Forge? I hadn't saved it yet, jeez. All I did was make the ceiling, and then duplicate that piece. Come on, man. Yeah, I think that's a RAM problem, so I ordered more RAM. I'm having to run, you know, all of this stuff at one time. The stream, you know, Master Chief Collection, Blender, and then, you know, Chrome and all that stuff. It all adds up. I'm going to close Discord and see if that helps, because I don't need Discord open right now. I think I will have to stream with Discord open if I, you know, whenever we're testing the map and I invite everybody to come in and join me. I'll be going against bots unless I have enough people, in which case we'll all be going against bots unless we have enough people. And then just to test out the map. And then while we're doing that, I'm going to have to organize it, and I don't want to do it in someone else's Discord. So I'm going to want everyone to join the Discord so I can, I'll have everyone do that, just to hop in. Just in case, because like if I end up with more than 16 people, or more than 24 people, it's a big team battle map and it's infinite, not Halo, not previous ones. But why is it, okay, I wanted to close, that's what I had that open for. I wanted to go down here. I wanted to open up something else on this one so I can get this open and close Discord in here. I was like not doing anything because I was trying to select that. Okay, and then I need to go to, actually I also need to go to Steam to reopen Halo anyway. So yeah, whenever I do the play test, yeah, I'm gonna use my Discord to basically organize it. Just in case we end up with more than 24 people. In which case I can find one player, you know, to sort of come and grab the file. I don't know. I think I'm gonna be adding GB Clint as a contributor. You can delete contributors, so I could add someone as a contributor, and then they'd have access to the map, and then I could delete them. But I don't know if they. I think pretty sure they never leave the credits in that case. And that seems weird, but I don't know. I could also just like publish that version of the map for a minute, and then unpublish it, and just let somebody help me out, just in case if we get more than 24 people in. I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have like 10 people, something like that. But yeah. Let's see. So Halo Infinite. Get it all set back up again. Map, my files, Waterworks, play. I'm thinking about calling this one Waterworks in parentheses classic, and then calling my glow up version just straight Waterworks. And I think, or coming up with another, like they do with coagulation in Blood Gulch. You know, to coagulate is whenever blood dries and gets thicker. So Blood Gulch, a gulch is a dried up river. It's a pun, and it's really cool. And then, and they've got, is it Bloodline? Is the, I think is the Halo 2 Anniversary version. And it doesn't make as much sense. It's not quite as clever. But, you know, that was Bungie. Bungie was very clever. I think it's Joseph Staten was part of that. He seems like the kind of person who would love puns. Okay. So the point is that, okay, here we go. Alright, we're back into the map. And we're back to the single ceiling piece. And that was literally, I'm pretty sure the only thing I did. So I should be able to, well, I did fix the ceiling piece. It's got that weird dark side. Let's fix that real quick before I duplicate it and change things and stuff like that about it. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to bring this in to there. We're going to rotate it around and bring it into there as well over here. Okay. Now, is there a gap there? I know there's a height difference. Ooh, that's not what I want. I want to be on the ceiling so I can see if there's light coming through. No light. No light. Okay. Yeah, it's clipping through it a little bit. This side is like just on the line. No, there is a gap here. There is a light. Okay. I did do this side a little wrong. There we go. And then I need to turn it around so I can this edge not poke through as much. I don't think there's anything that's going to be over here. But I do have an idea that with my glow up version that's going to come out right after this, I'm going to do stuff in the glow up version, like even change some of this stuff. Like this is just a basic railing like in Halo 2 with Waterworks. It's the same way that this is how 343, Bungie used to make them. But there's a piece that's a really good railing that'll actually go really well here and look nice. And I'm going to put that in there in like my glow up version. So it'll visually be a little bit of a glow up as well. This doorway is very sort of plain on its angular, you know, effect. I might put a frame around it in some way that's a little nicer look. I'll probably add some like pieces that I'll use this as a block out so that I can flatten pieces and put them into the wall and just make the wall look different. And then those pieces don't even have to be perfect proportion. Like they don't need to like go to the edges because so if there wasn't a wall here already, they might be like a hole where you'd see through the map. But I'm going to leave all that there and then basically just give it a facelift in a way. But anyway, what I was thinking about doing was putting a door here to a grav lift that launches you up into a sort of water containment chamber up here that you can use, that'll like be up here lined up with this. And what I was thinking was that if you could go inside of this and come up here and go through this, and this would be like a water pipe that would go through and fall through the ceiling there into the middle of the map. And likewise over here I could find a way to maybe grav lift launch you into there somehow or something to that effect, or maybe launch you up and have you fall down through there and let you drop into the middle of the map, and then you'd fall like through the light fixture or something to that effect, or come through a hole up here and then you'd be, you know, up here looking down. Wow, look at that. That's not perfect. It used to be perfect at one point, but I must have had to scale something and didn't match the smoothness of the wall. I'm going to fix that a bit. But for now, let's get back to what we were doing. So basically, though, that's one of the ideas I had for my version of the map. But for my glow up version. But that's not, yeah, it's not going to come up until later, I suppose. So, yeah, we're going to go here. I need to turn off magnets because if the magnet isn't going to work, then I need to turn it off because it's just going to make my Z axis wrong. Which is why I had to adjust it right before the crash happened. Is because the Z was reset. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. So I have some cool ideas for my glow up version, but this is the 1-to-1. This one's going to be identical to the original Waterworks. This one's going to stay precisely as it was supposed to be. So a lot of people are going to, I think people are going to like my improvements, mainly because they're based on advice from Max Hoberman, and he is one of the OGs. Oh, look at that! I forgot to do it again. Got to set my folders originally, first. Okay, here we go. Pump shroud. Okay, now we're gonna set this as the working folder. Close all that. We're gonna select. This is the one we have selected. This is the new wall I created. Move it into there. What? Oh, it's locked. Move it into there. We also got it unlocked now. Why'd the central structure body expand? This one should have expanded. Okay, deselect all and grab my piece. There we go. Now we've got a new one. So basically, if you create a new one, it will go into whatever folder you have selected. In this case, I didn't have a folder selected at all. Well, I did, but it was I just had the main folder selected. So even if you decide to lock a structure like this, right, and you duplicate a piece, it's going to generate that piece in the folder you have selected. I had layout selected, so I had to move it to tunnel and bridge, but if I had more, intelligently selected tunnel and bridge originally, then it would have gone straight into that folder. And that's extremely helpful. It doesn't seem like it might be, but it is, trust me. So this is going to be a situation where I need to bring this down. I want the snapping. I need to bring this to that. Nope, that one. And then I'm going to want to basically line this up perfectly with that floor. And then make the other direction, what, exactly half, I believe? Okay, is that clipping through? Or is it actually lined up with that piece? I think it's actually lined up with a piece, because I did go through a lot of trouble to align it yesterday. Honestly, that's fine. Okay, so basically this needs to match. Actually, I've got this at a 45-degree angle already. All I need to do is make this snap. And that was the problem. I kept on having trouble with this. Is not, it's just refusing to snap. I don't understand why. Because snapping is just a pain in the butt sometimes. Okay, so basically I'm probably gonna have to manually move this to line up, which is a pain in the butt. But not as bad whenever you're dealing with I have to get really close. Whenever you're dealing with mouse and keyboard. That being said, it's still like really hard to see what I'm doing here. Let's see. Why isn't it going into move? Oh, do I not have it selected? Whoops. Okay, there we go. So let me see if... No, that's not gonna do it. I need to see if I can... Oh no, that's on the far corner. Okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. Turn that around, and now it's here. Look at that. That'll be easy. So, I do need to get a keylogger. I think it'd be easier to see what I'm doing. Like, people who want to learn from what I'm doing probably have a much easier time if I had a keylogger. To sort of throw that up on the screen. Just, you have no idea why I'm saying, oh, I'll do this. You know what I mean? Like... And I can't really go and explain it every single time, but a keylogger would definitely help. Oh, is it just a 90 degree? I'm so dumb. Yeah, of course it's just a 90 degree. This should have been easy. Okay, so we're just gonna grab the longer one. Control C, cancel, and Control V, confirm. Of course it's just 90 degree. It clips through though, and I'm gonna have to replace this with a different piece later whenever I make my glow up version, because there's gonna be a floor coming out this way. So maybe I should just save myself the trouble now, and Gotta fix my deselect all is broken because I'm still in mood. No, I'm still in a tool at all. There we go. Yeah, I can do it now. I need one of these. This is a pyramid, but I need it to look like that. I don't think I have any floor pieces that have the pyramid effect, so I'm just going to duplicate this one. And that'll put it into the correct folder. And oh, huh. Where is this piece? If it's not in the central structure, it must be in here by accident. Anyway. So pyramid these pyramid pieces finally solved a problem that I was having, where the angles are not, the angles for the sides of this triangle piece don't fill the requirements of a certain number of pieces. Let me think. I think I want this to be like this, perhaps. Need to switch this to world. Yeah, I think this is the way to go. Wait, this. One more rotation, I suppose. There we go. So I'm gonna, yeah, well, at least I can use this other triangle to guide me. And then what you want to do is you want to then rotate it 45 degrees. No, this may not work. This is not going to cross between these 2 points. If there's a way to move my excess floor to that side, then that'll work. I just gotta figure out what I'm doing with it. Okay, so it continues that texture this way, and really nicely. Wow. Lines up perfectly in the middle. You know, maybe I'll leave it like this, and then my hallway going out that way, I'll maybe put a ramp there, make it a little bit higher. You know, Foreigner like to mess with their height fields, and this is a ramp right here going to the same junction. I can make it go a little higher, and that would work just fine. Because that is going to be my creative, you know, side, not the recreation of what they created. So I'm definitely going to have to de-prefab this, and you'll see why in a second. It's because this, and this, going to Master Chief Collection, they just straight up, like, copied it and, like, bent it and made it weird. And then continued on over here. And then they did the same thing over here technically, but because the distance, the gap is so wide there, and also over here. Because it's so wide, you can't really tell, but this is how it doesn't like look weird, but it's going the opposite direction here instead of being curved. I just threw a grenade. Instead of being curved inward. Oof. I don't even know what's happening to my game down there. It's super laggy. It's the RAM. It's running out of RAM on the computer. I've got 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it's running out. I ordered 32 more gigabytes, so, and they're gonna go in there, and I'm gonna put these RAM sticks into the secondary slots, and put my new ones in. But anyway, the point is that, yeah, it creates a weird little effect there. The point, yeah, and we can just go ahead and do it, and you'll see what I mean in the real game, in Infinite. Okay. In the current game. So they do this. Okay. And then they put something in between them to bridge the gap. And that's it. That's all they do. It's really weird. And if I duplicate this, this will be the middle piece. Like, let's see. I need it to be halfway between 45. So half of 45. So we need 15, 5, and then 1, 2, and then half. Right? Is that right? Does that add up to what I'm trying to get to? No, I went too far. I did something wrong. Wait, okay. Half of 45 would be 22 and a half, so... Yeah, 15, 5, 1, 2, half. Okay, is it correctly lining up then? Weird. I must have accidentally rotated one extra time on one of these axes. Possibly. Yeah, it looks like I did 5 twice. Because now it's lining up. I must have hit 5 twice. Or something. I don't know. Surely I didn't just do really basic math wrong. But it looks like I also did 1 twice. Oh, wait. It's because I started with the angle. I don't know. I don't know what I did. I'm just going to make it right. I was trying to figure it out, but I don't really need to know what I did wrong. I just need to fix it. There we go. That should be it. I might have just gone too far with the extra 1 that I just did, but it looks like getting close. Okay, so I think I did. Let's see. Yeah, that extra 1 was not necessary. It was just the 5. So I went 5 too far. I must have hit it twice instead of once by accident. Okay, well anyway, that solves that part of it. And now I just need a piece to go here. We have some pieces back here that will do the trick very nicely. This piece is probably already even scaled close to the correct scale I need it to be. So, okay, let's see. Oh wait, I don't want to rotate it like that. Hold on. I thought I was in 45 degrees, but I was in 1 degree. There we go. Now I need to rotate it to this rotation. So I need to do the same rotation again, only this time I guess I'll do it right. So it would be... Oh wait. Okay, hold on. There we go. 15, 5, 1, 2, and a half. It came out right the second time. Don't know what I did wrong the first time. Okay, so there we go. And then I need to change the scale a lot. Like a whole lot. It actually is nowhere close to correct. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think that angle is correct. I don't think I messed it up this time. Oh, I'm on. Okay. 1/8 is too much or something? Or did I do 2/8 last time by mistake? Yeah, 1/8 is too much. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Sometimes I wish the movement could get even more fine. Like the, especially vertical movement. It's very obnoxious whenever you end up launching yourself like way too high and you can't like line up correctly with your visuals. And I don't know if that's just me or not that has that trouble. But I've been having that trouble since like Halo Reach. Halo 3 even. Okay, so this is the correct angle and yet it's not scaling correctly. Oh, there we go. Looks great. Wonderful. I'm going to need to move copy this and move it to the opposite side whenever I do this column. But yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, so my plan with the 2 versions of it is going to satisfy the purists who want it exactly as it was, as well as, you know, the fans of Infinite that want to have something new and fresh and original. It's going to turn it into something new and fresh and original. This is interesting. They continue the lights down here, but they just dropped the upper lights, turned it into a much more simple shape that matches the columns up here a lot closer, except slightly shallower. So this area is really dark compared to over there. If you like up in the upper area of the room, it's just super dark. That's really interesting to me because I didn't know that, and now I'm like the more I study this map, the more I create this map, the more I'm like studying it and learning its design, like how it was built, and it's pretty interesting to me. Things I never noticed whenever I was playing as a teenager, as a kid. So I need to prefab these before I go moving it. You know what? I'm going to grab this. So I need one of these. And I'll grab this too, because then I can use it for alignment to put the correct one in its place. Because I only need 2 of them for this, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to prefab this. This is what was taught to me by my viewers last stream, is quit selecting everything like a million times. A whole bunch of stuff over and over again like a million times. It's just slowing you down. Boy, and also hold it longer. Jeez, that was surprisingly didn't break it. Very surprisingly didn't like make one of these pieces like poke out. Okay, so the point is that yeah, if you're gonna be moving a lot of stuff in groups, absolutely prefab them. There's no reason to sit here and have to hold down select and select a whole bunch of pieces over and over and over again. Okay, so magnets are on. Let's see if it'll magnet to what I need it. It doesn't appear to be wanting to, so I'm going to just sit here and hold it for a second to make sure the server catches up, because that way it won't do that thing where it moves around a whole lot. There. Okay, now I need to remove it as a prefab, deselect this piece, and reselect it so it's the final piece selected, which means it will always get its magnet. And then I'm going to grab it again. Now it has its magnet where I need it, and now I can get it to, I need hold position, let the server know I moved it, then let go, and let the server snap it. And this is a perfectly aligned wall. And now, because we're dealing with a lower floor that's also like, you know, exposed, you can kind of see that I need to go a little bit lower down. So I'm going to do that. And then these pieces were the ones that are up on the top of ramp, so they are also shorter. And I will go down here with that. This one I don't need to rescale, because what I'm going to do is instead, well, for one thing, this can actually be rescaled to fill both. Because I'm going to do the same thing over here and delete these little ones, but they're helpful for alignment, because once you stretch this, it snaps, start breaking. So okay, so now we need another one of these. Actually, this one's already at my 45-degree angle. I'll copy it, and I will duplicate it, and it should snap inside of this one really nicely. And then I can delete the bigger one and then have my thin one where I need it to be, and delete. And cool, that's still inside of it. And then that starts the next angle. So I'm going to bring these in a second, but that is where this piece starts, which is interesting. Who wants to find their love in U City? Let's remove that from chat. Okay. Hide user in this channel, I suppose, and report. Wonder if YouTube's gonna do something about that. Okay, well, so I was in... Yeah. So the interesting thing here is that this turn is another 45 degrees. But then, and so this wall is 45 degrees from that wall. But then they clipped the corner. Rather than having it go 45 degree, corner, 45 degree, they did what they did over here, which is actually to create a, 22.5 degree angle. Just like that little column we had to make just now. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out the width of this one such that this hallway remains the same, and snap it to that. Otherwise, the angles are lost. So that's gonna be interesting. I think. Yeah, it's so dark in here. There's no flashlight in Halo 2. At least, not that I'm aware of. No button seems to turn one on. I don't remember there being, if there was or not, and I thought there was. But in multiplayer, at least, there doesn't appear to be. But yeah. So I might end up having to sort of eyeball this width. But it lines up with the floor angle, actually. Yeah, it lines up perfectly with the floor angle. So guess what I'll do is, okay, so if I go in here and change this so that it goes into here, let me see how that floor angle lines up on this side. It's like the texture is pretty, there's an obvious line in the texture right there that it's probably too small for you to see. There's like a line going that way. Touches right there. So if I scale mine to have that line in the texture line up perfectly, and then I make my floor over here, and I just, it's already at the right angle in the right position, so if I just scale it up to, you know, just shore up that line, that connection point, then now I've got, the distance is from this corner, well, it's from here, this corner, and then it's 22 and a half, going this way, and it should touch on this line right here, and that should give me my angle correct and the scale of my wall there. So that'll be interesting. That'll be an easy solution, to where I don't need to like eyeball the width. I could actually get pretty much the exact width. And by the way, the seam goes into this side of this piece and this side of this piece, so it's like it's right at the gap, the seam between those two, which I probably could have seen in Blender as well, because I could just look at the actual 3D model. But basically what I mean is it's lining up right here on that piece there. Yeah, let's go ahead and duplicate these, and then rotate and snap to there. I rotated 45. I need to rotate it 22 and a half. 15, 5. Yeah, that was 5. Okay. And then 1, 2 and a half. And that is the halfway mark between two 45-degree angles. Or two walls on a 45-degree angle. And then we grow it and make it touch that little seam right there. It's just a little bit too much. I went just too far. That should be fine. It's probably going to need to go a little farther because, like over here, there's a gap. I'll need to actually go. Oh wait, no, that is on the seam. That is supposed to be on the seam. Okay. Let's go back to 45. Turn it around and stretch it this way until it touches. There we go. It's slightly off, and I'm not sure why that's happening because it's snapped to it here. I guess it's just because of the distance, the difference in depth. So this should actually be lined up with that. And that's right. Okay, cool. So apparently the angle here is going to shift very slightly to be less potent. Let's see, is that true here too? Pretty much, yes. Yes, it is. Interesting. Huh. You don't really notice it until you know it's there to look for it, but it's totally gets a little bit smaller. Now I'm gonna just extend this outward. Actually, I guess no, they must have adjusted. Touches there. Yeah, okay, whatever. Maybe I was wrong. There we go, because that looks more correct. I think I need to go down to 1.001 and get it a hair lower. Yeah, that's actually correct. Cool. Okay, cool. So now this can needs to not so easy to turn it around, given that I'm gonna have to snap it to the other side once I get the other side on there. Okay, so then now I need to extend this one. Go all the way out. And it doesn't need to be the same width as the, you know, outside piece. In fact, I don't want it to clip into the other piece like this. That also means that I need to figure out where to position them. Because this piece touches there. And now it's too big, because actually I adjusted that for fixing it on the other side. There we go. Nope. Still. Okay, it's lined up with this one. This piece is clipping into that one. Now I understand. Yeah, it's actually perfectly lined up with the triangle, but the other piece is clipping into it. So that should be good, and then we can duplicate it and move that piece. And, yeah. Get it 45 degrees. And line it up down there. And that should line it up here, and we can even grab this and go back a little bit so it doesn't clip through the wall. Yeah, and then we can grab this and snap it over here, and of course it's going to. Is that a good spot? No, it's not. Okay, so I'm going to end up having to drag it to the left a bit manually, because I can't turn it around because it's not a right angle anymore. Theoretically could make it a right angle and then move it, but I don't think that would actually line up correctly. So I'm pretty sure that would not be correct. So I should have adjusted its length before I adjusted its height to make it line up correctly. And basically got it to collide first and then adjusted the height, but whatever. Too late for that. So, turn off magnets. Set to world. Yeah, that's not what I want. I want object, because then it will move exactly in its line. I wonder if I shouldn't keep those little scratches there. They kind of look nice. You know? Yeah, I guess I will, actually, because, yeah, like I said, they kind of look nice. And there we go. Yeah, those scratches look good in that corner. Okay, so now we have our angle to our piece here, and it's all correct. You've got your grenade angle, which is probably why they put that there, because they wanted you to be able to toss grenades down the hallway easier, and that's probably why they made it flat as well. And if they had just made the 45-degree angle, hit it the other 45-degree angle, you could hit it. You could throw it directly at the other wall, then it just bounce off that wall and sort of come down here. But if you hit this thing, it'll go all the way down the wall. And if you aim up there, and that might be why they put this slope here, just to give you sort of a visual clue that you can do this. But if you aim up there, it bounces off there, and then it bounces off the other one, which is going to be about here, and then it can go all the way down the hallway to the door. Even though you can't see that there's a person there yet, or like, well, you can see that they are there, especially if they're on your motion tracker, but you can't actually, you're not actually seeing them, you're just hitting them, and it's great. It's really good design. There's a lot of stuff like that in this map that's like, okay, so they did put some thought into it. Like, the map is really cool for aesthetics, but a lot of the times it's like, it's kind of like a fun map rather than like a competitive map kind of thing. And it's like, no, they actually did put a lot of thought in the map, just like they do every other map. Just like they always did all the other maps. That's why whenever I talk to Max Bonjour. Oh, Clan, are you in here because you got your thing? If you don't, it's fine. I'm not making you have to tell me your thing. But How's it going though? Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Oh yeah, there is no light on this one. I can actually delete this. This one does not have a light. Just goes into darkness. Which means I need to shrink this one down and then make it fill in that gap. I'm sorely tempted because Clint has figured out this. Whenever you release that thing, I know that's like all I talk about. Whenever you release your video that shows how to make the thing. Let's see. I finally finished one project, so I'm gonna start on making the video soon. Fantastic. So happy to hear that. Whenever you know, I keep talking, I keep on like going on about it because like. Now that you have like this thing and it's figured out and all we got to do is wait for the tutorial to show us how. I know like I said I harp on this like every single time. But I think like okay. So Aaron made practically for me that Sakura tree that he made and posted to Twitter and everybody was like really impressed with and stuff like that. He didn't actually make that for me, but he practically made that for me. He had already given up on the Sakura because he tried it and couldn't figure out the lighting. And then he asked me what I wanted, and I said a Sakura tree because I have a map idea that kind of requires one. It doesn't really require one, but it would make the map. It'd bring the map from from like A to AAA, and basically it like once I'd make it, and because so he actually went back and was like, yeah, I'll make it then, and so he tried it and he figured out that he had lost the file that he had a save file where he had found the right color for the what do you call it, for the Sakura tree to make it actually look good, because it was looking like neon pink every other time. And then eventually he found that save file. He had like one branch of the tree in that save file at the right color, and he was like, "Ooh, that gives me the color from the swatches. I can go and use that to make an entire tree." And then he posted online. He got it like a lot of attention because it looks so good. And then so I was gonna make that one next, and I may still do that map that uses that. Yeah, Japanese map, exactly. Well, I was going to make it like an alien world, but just using the Sakura tree because it's the image of the Sakura tree petals that I wanted. And that is that there's a special effect that looks like little flat pieces that people use for leaves and stuff like that, and I'm going to use it for petals. And it's going to be a perfectly flat, or perfectly like vertical, almost not perfectly vertical, an almost perfectly vertical like cliffside map. That's going to have a few like tiers and stuff like that. And the idea is to make a map that's vertical and make it work. Because, first-person shooters are all horizontal. There's like some verticality. But if you actually account for it, it's like, if they were to put buildings like real life into them, like skyscrapers, and actually have that much, it would be too complex for first-person shooters and for first-person shooter players to really track. I think that we could deal with it, but it would be very difficult to even handle. And basically it's just a fact of the first-person shooter genre and the limitations of the camera and all that kind of stuff. You're not actually seeing like proper periphery and all that kind of stuff, and it causes some confusion. So okay, this angle isn't supposed to be here, and I just realized that it's there, and I can delete it, I think, by shortening. Yeah, this piece. Actually, do they even need to be there? Anyway, I'm in the middle of saying something. I should probably go back to that. So basically, if you make a vertical map, it can become basically really confusing to track where you are because you don't know where you are on the map. So a full Levolution style Big Two battle map. What's Levolution style? I actually don't know what that is. Is it similar? Is it like vertical kind of thing? Is it what? Yeah. Is it like? Because so what I was saying was that basically that if you, what I was thinking was that if you make a vertical map though, let's prefab this, and then I don't have to reselect it all, and then I can duplicate it. That was like the best advice yesterday. That was such good advice. The best like simple tool mundane, because whenever this happens, oh wait, it almost corrected. You can just delete it, and then you don't have to reselect every piece, and then you just duplicate that piece again. I gotta go back. Maps that evolve. Oh yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yes, I would love to do that too. I have some ideas for that too, but I'm not gonna prioritize those because I have these other ideas that I really like, that I really want to do, that are more specific. So basically, I guess, but that is yeah, I like interactable maps and maps that evolve as well. those are fantastic. So the idea was basically sakura trees at the top because they drop those really pretty petals, and wind blowing through them. If I can animate them, I will. Where I can just wiggle the leaves, which should be easy. And then special effects of those like flat moving pieces that float through the air. I think it's called like, I think I've held this down long enough. It's like something to do with the Cortana or Forerunner light, like disintegration effect or something like that. But anyway, the point is that whenever you use it, you can make it look like leaves and petals and stuff like that. So I'm going to use that to make the sakura petals, and then once I've got that set up, it's going to flow down off the side of the map. It's the battlefield system of like map changing over time, like massive weather damage, building collapsing, sakura cuteness. Yeah. So okay, so it's like all of the interactability of like of a battlefield map. That's cool because that's that's one of the things that I always loved about Halo 2 was that they focused so much on destructible environments and interactability, and they didn't really. The hardware was too limiting to really do the concept justice. So I'm excited for your maps then. Let's line it up back. No, I can't line it up back there. The depth is wrong. What is going on here? Okay, so the problem is that I've got two. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have to. Jeez. Okay, that's annoying. I'd have to deselect everything and then adjust the length of that to get it out the way, to get it to stop snapping wrong. Okay, let me see if just getting closer will help, because sometimes that helps, and then you can sort of select which one you want to use, but it really is giving me a pain in the butt. 100% have given up on doing elongation. I can't get the correct speed with no stutter and feet drag. The volume pulls players and objects completely differently. Oh, that's unfortunate. Klein might be able to get you past where I got you, if he's willing to if he's not too extremely busy with all of his other stuff, his own projects. I'm not volunteering him to help you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not my place to do that, but I'm just saying that if you want to ask him, you can. Yeah, but that is unfortunate. I think there was a lot of choppiness in mine that I slowly tuned out of the map, like got it fixed, but it took time. It wasn't especially choppy so much as like bouncy. Okay, that deletion was wrong. Dear Lord. Oh man, it didn't undelete, and at the same time it screwed everything up. Or it did undelete. That's it right there, I think. I think that's the piece I just deleted, and it's back, but it's at a weird angle. Okay, we're gonna delete all this. We're gonna get rid of all of this and start this little copy over. Hopefully I didn't select any rocks back there. Oh my god, that's so messed up. Just not even gonna try to fix this. You can. Every single one of these, their location is the same as they're supposed to be, but the rotation is what got messed up. So you can just select it all, and one by one, if you have to, just one by one, reset location, delete it. Yeah, good abstract art. You're right. Look at that. Maybe I'll prefab this. I'll put it up on the file share for you, Clint. Yeah. No, that's terrible. Okay, let's see. Let's get this rebuilt. Okay, that's not what I want. I don't want to have to redo the z-axis. Let's do it like this, and then it'll copy horizontally. Okay. So, yeah, back to doing this again. But yeah, so the vertical map. The idea is it's a completely it's like a vertical cliff. There's sakura trees at the top. The wind is blowing the petals down, and the petals will give you a clue as to where you are on the map visually, because it's a vertical. It's something you don't have to look up to see vertically, because you know the sakura petals are moving in a specific way. They're spreading as they get lower and stuff like that. So, so basically, it kind of did look like a guardian, didn't it? Basically, yeah, it's the idea is just to give you this sort of intuitive visual clue of where you are on the map at any given point in time. And it's going to be hopefully really cool. Okay, I'm going to move this out here so selecting everything is really easy, because I'm about to have to adjust. I'm going to adjust this thing to make sure I get everything lined up correctly. Right there. Because I'm going to have to turn it back into a prefab or whatever. And I'm probably going to just copy it again, because I'm going to turn it into a prefab and copy that prefab and then move it, just so I don't have to reselect everything again if everything gets screwed up. So, yeah. Get everything over here. This is a failsafe, a workaround. But yeah, so the idea is that it's not just the sakura tree though. I'm also going to have like a waterfall, and between the two, you're going to know like, okay, the waterfall is going this way, the sakura tree is going this way. So if there's a horizontal gap between the sakura tree petals falling down and the waterfall falling down, then I know where I am. You know what I mean? It's going to subconsciously allow you to map yourself on the map. So hopefully, like on the battlefield, you're going to know where you are, and hopefully that works out. That's the thought. Let's prefab that again, and then save, because I haven't done that in a while. And like I said, duplicate this, and then I'm going to move it over here. Oh jeez, I didn't hold it. I didn't hold it. Ah, okay, delete. That's why I made the prefab. That was like the best advice for these tools. Like I don't want to say the best advice, because Clint is in here who helped me with the programming. I don't want to compare. This is the best advice for dealing with tools, and the best advice for dealing with programming is a totally different thing, because they're not even in the same ballgame of what they are. You know what I mean? They're like totally different genres of advice. Okay, let's see. Let's get this thing in here. Okay. And geez, it's still using the same freaking piece. Ah, that's so frustrating. Where was that one spot? There was one spot where it used something else. Ugh. I can get to use that piece of there. Okay. Alright. We're gonna turn that off again. Sit for a second. Delete this, because screw it. And then I'll just select everything. That was kind of frustrating, but we'll see. I mean, I'll have it finished in a second. It'll be over and done with. But yeah, did I not copy that piece? How did I not get that piece? Jeez. I assume it's not in the prefab. Yeah. I thought I selected it. I thought I went up there and went out of my way to select it, but I've done a lot of selecting. I feel like an exterminator forging, dealing with all of them bugs. Yeah, that's true. And just trying to, you know, like, I don't know. It's just, yeah. That's exactly right, basically. It's, I thought I was done with QA whenever I stopped working at EA. And then here we are again. Just QA testing someone else's programs. Okay, so we're going to select this. Which one is the correct one to select? Is it the shorter one or the longer one? These look longer. So yeah. Get rid of the shorter one. Yeah, those are definitely shorter. Something about adjustment I made whenever I changed the 45. Anyway. In which case, I don't know which of these I need to get. I think they're identical. Delete. Okay, cool. There wasn't a weird mess up that time. There's a mess up down here, though. That was weird. Fortunately, I had 2 of them, so I could just delete the one that was messed up. Okay, and before anything else happens, I need to select this and duplicate it. And then, well, I could have just dragged that one over, I guess. You know what else I said I was going to fix and then didn't before I did all this? This piece right here. And I've got to find out if I even need it. I don't think I will. Like, if I select this... Like, if I click this... Nope, that is part of the prefab. Okay, if I remove this as a prefab because I don't need another angled one again... Yeah, no, I don't. And I select this. Is this even visible anywhere? Can I drag it out? No. It's not really visible. Oh, it's not visible up top. It's visible down here. Oh, I guess it's kind of visible here. Anyway. I don't think that is there in the original. Let's see if I can find that out. Like, it doesn't seem like it would be. Yeah, no, it just gets thinner up top. So all I need to do is change the way these columns work, and I should have done that before I duplicated it because I'm going to have to do it twice now, but or I could replace it, but yeah. Are you building the terrain last? I think I am. I kind of started on it, but then I realized that everything Forerunner kind of acts like a scale to tell you how wide everything is supposed to be, you know? So basically I was like, yeah, I kind of have to have it now, don't I? And then I just kept going from there. You know, actually, I think I might have to just live with this, because otherwise I need these to be triangles. I just realized that. I either have to replace these with triangles so they go into the wedge, like they angle in to a single point inside the wall, or I can just live with this slight slope here. And the slight slope isn't so bad, and I already duplicated it over to here. And I know it's not 100% one-to-one. This is like the first time that I've really done this where I think I might just leave it until I can maybe fix it later if I feel like coming back and doing that. Everything else I've been like really meticulous about being one-to-one, but I think I might just leave that because it doesn't look bad and it would require a lot of rebuild with like angles and stuff. And I just want to get closer to being complete, you know? So yeah. Anyway, we can delete this and that. Because this map is huge. It's so big. I didn't expect it to be... I don't remember it being this complex. Like, for real. But yeah, I'm going to build the terrain last because these are all measured exactly. It need to be measured precisely to be the right angle, or rather can be measured precisely. And then once I have... I've got the central structure. I've got this lined up to the central structure correctly. And then I've got this thing scaled correctly. It'll be like a frame to allow me to paint the terrain inside of it, and it will be like painting inside the lines, you know what I mean, like coloring inside the lines at that point, as opposed to having to eyeball precision of the, you know, terrain pieces. Turn off snapping because actually this is already lined up horizontally, and then I will well, I guess it's going to become something different anyway. I can go ahead and turn snapping back on and snap it to the roof here if I can. And yeah, there we go. And then I can adjust the height. But yeah. I figure as far as precision goes, the terrain can be last because it's mostly eyeballing. You know what I mean? It's just more of that the whole time. Let's see. I need swatches, and I need to know what they are. Obviously, Forerunner metal, but I think I put it at, yeah, 0.6 on the reflective to make it look like that. On the reflection, I mean. Forerunner metal simple, and then on top of that, it was how much grime? Maximum grime. Figured rust isn't shiny. So I figured I'd make the ceiling in here not shiny because there were lights pointing directly at it, and it was making it look really weird. Now it looks actually very, very close to the original. But yeah. I kind of adjusted these lights to be correct, but not really, and we'll see how that goes. But these need light objects to be put into them. So I'll probably populate that one, and this one, and this one, then duplicate it, and then duplicate all 4 of them. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna go and duplicate that. I don't have a convenient snapping point here. Oh, do I? Wait, is there a center point there? There is. That's convenient. And then I'll just extend that this way. I'll kind of eyeball to where it's sort of balanced. There we go. Just because if I need it to snap to anything, it would be nice if it's snapped. It sort of matches the texture a little bit. Even though these are the Forerunner metal ones, so you don't really need to match the texture perfectly. They're very, you know. The Forerunner metal is those little tiny hexes, so you don't even really notice whenever they're not lined up perfectly. I noticed with all of that it's really easy to sort of like eyeball a perfection. Let's see, which is a testament to the quality of the work that 343 Industries has been doing to make this, you know, work out. And I suppose that's sort of an artifact from Bungie era, but it's not really an artifact from Bungie era. It's not, you know, they had to rebuild it completely and make the decision to use the same exact style, and it was like added in reach and all that, so I don't know. The hexes. Okay, duplicate. Turn it this way? No, this way. And then bring it over here. I'm going to turn off snapping it first. Turn it back on, and I can bring it in. Oh, I didn't turn it back on, I did redo. Wait, that was it for a second. Okay, is this the... I think this is the angle. This is the spot I can let it go. I think so, anyway. I also had an idea last night for the same vertical map. Oh, I never finished the thought of why I was bringing up the vertical map. I do that a lot. I apologize. So the reason I'm bringing up the vertical map, let me do that before I describe the new idea, is that I wanted to do, like, the vertical map idea is really cool, and I want to do it. I was planning to do it next, but now I'm tempted to do the train idea next, because Clint has is about to release. As soon as you release that video, I can start work on the train map. Theoretically, I could start work on the train map earlier than that, obviously, but because of the map, it needs to be mapped out before the trains even need to function. But I also kind of need to make it prove a point that it can be done before I actually start devoting the time to it. So, as a proof of concept, it would be nice to have your thing. Why is that not lining up? Oh, jeez, did I delete the wrong one again? Yeah, it looks like I deleted the right one at the top and the wrong one at the bottom, but that just means, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna snap it to there. See if that fixes it. And sure enough, that fixed it. And now I just need to probably do the same here. And this one. Nope. That one. And that should solve it. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Basically, the train idea is, like the train heist map, is a really cool idea, I think, and would make for a really good next project as well. And I wanted to get to that because it's just like it's so exciting, and I think that it would be really popular and like people would like to play it. You know, like not everyone's gonna want to play my experimental. I want to make a vertical first-person shooter map. You know what I mean? Like some people are gonna. It may still not, like it may not even work. It may not be as possible as I'm thinking it is, and then like people will look at it and be like, we still have to see if my system will work with a lot of objects. Yeah, that is true, that there's a lot of stuff like that that's like that's still in flux. And then like we've got mine would make it even more, like the train would make it even more complicated because I have to have a lot of objects in front, and then you need to have another car that follows behind that car correctly on the rail. And that's a lot of work. I mean, it might be that I could literally, no, if that's the thing that like welding, if welding worked, the train idea would be trivial because I could allow the welding to take all of the complication, all of the issue. You know what I mean? I could allow the welding to just to drag, like the physics could just drag the train on the track, and whenever it hits that track, it would just be pulled along and like actually travel along with it. Or I could put like invisible blockers, so I can make it like a maglev train or whatever. Maglev, not maglav. Train, and then it would. There's so many cool ideas that can go with it. I think this does need to line up in the middle. I just moved it off, but then it wasn't lining up on the side on the wall. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that is true though. Like we got to make sure it works with. I mean, I've got a lot of objects up here, so if it works with this, it's gonna work with a lot of objects. Just making this thing work. I may end up having to, like, if we can't figure out a way to make this thing work all as one thing, I might have to redesign it and make it not look one-to-one, which would be unfortunate. But like, if that's the case, I'll make it look like fancy and new and Forerunner-y and like, you know, like detailed and stuff. But because I can grab bigger pieces to use. And in fact, like, if I did that, what I'll probably do is instead of making it hollow, and I only just thought of this, there are giant hex pieces that could probably fill the fill the purpose of an entire section of this on the corner. Like, they're scaled to be close, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just close enough. So if I can't use all of these objects and have to reduce the number, I will do that, and we'll figure that out. But with the train thing, I'd have to move. I'd probably have a different script brain for each car of the train, and then have to make somehow they'd have to follow behind each other, which would be basically just how I pick where they're gonna move. So it's not like the most difficult thing, I guess. But I mean that wouldn't be the hard part. The hard part is what you're doing already. So I don't think that's gonna be the world. So these line up perfectly, as expected. And that's all I like to see. What is anything different? Is there anything different about the tunnel going forward, and how many of these sort of rungs do I need? I've got the turning point one, and then another, and then this one is literally the door. It does appear to have its angle. It's very dark. Sort of light it up with the with some, you know, splash damage effect. This door is why I actually have that door over there just hovering there. I'm waiting to stick it in over here because it's the exact same style. I went into Blender and even grabbed this door and copied it and dragged it over here and went, okay, yeah, same dimensions exactly. Dragged it over here. Okay, same dimensions exactly. That's how they made the 3D model. They copied and pasted their door. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'll just do that then. So let's see. I need to prefab one of these again. Oh wait, is this still? Is it blue? No, it was white. Yeah, everything else is no longer. Oh, there's still this as a prefab. Oh, and that's the number of rungs I need. Beautiful. Okay. Duplicate that then. And grab its duplicate. And drag it out. If I trusted scripting, I would 100% do a quarantine zone gondola map. I just don't like the idea of moving that many pieces at once without breaking the game. Yeah, that's what that is what Clint is solving. And that's what I like to see. But yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I love the idea of a... I'm just gonna redo this. I love the idea of a gondola, the gondola from Quarantine. And they kind of have an attempt at that as well in Halo 4, which actually could make a cool multiplayer map, but the way, like with a couple of tweaks. But the sequence in the campaign, I hated. So as a multiplayer map, it might be cool, though, and that would be really cool. I play everything on Legendary right off the bat, though. I dive straight into Legendary, and that might be one of the reasons I hated Halo 4 and Halo 5, by the way. So anybody who hears that, it's like, but I like that one. It's like, did you play it on normal or heroic first? Because if you did, that might be why I hated it, because the respawn is crap in both of them, and like respawning is terrible in both of them, and then on top of that, the like difficulty curve in it is not satisfying. It's like kind of goes from it doesn't go to hard as far as like thinking about it goes. It goes to hard as like, it's not even really skill based difficulty. It's just like luck. It's like there's some weird nonsense with it. You gotta like game it basically, and that's why I don't like it. Anyway, the hard part is making stuff with only dynamic objects. Which gondola part in Halo 4? So there's a part in Halo 4 that has it's a level where you pilot the Pelican and you fly into a tower. Once you get inside the tower, there's a gondola, and you flip a switch and it moves down the line, and then the Prometheans take control of it and stop it at a junction point. There's a whole like base shape area where you have to get off the gondola, kill them, and then free it up, get back onto the gondola, activate it again. Maybe you just kill them and get back on. Anyway, and then you activate it, and it starts going again, and then it stops at another junction point on the opposite side. So it's like a big hallway kind of thing with a gondola going down the middle. It's inside a structure instead of outside. And so yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, I always wanted a big team battle map with a massive people mover. I agree. I had a map idea here. I can pull it up because it was based on something that someone gave me permission to use these. The person who made it. Let's see, where is it? Forge plans. AI generated maps. So someone used an AI generator to generate a bunch of maps. I posted this to Reddit, so you may have actually seen it at some point, potentially. Well, he posted it to Reddit first, and then I asked him if I could go ahead and use it to actually make these maps. So basically, this is an image that was generated by an AI. I saw this piece, and I saw this, and thought of those as tracks. And I was thinking of that the movie about the giant cities on treads that like drive around. I forget what it's called. And I was like, man, what if this was a something on a track that travels across the level, and I make the dirt on the ground like move out to the side and then recollapse back in and fill in the middle, and sort of make like an energy field that the dirt's all on top of, that so that there's a downside, like an underground area that's like a tunnel, and this big piece descends through the ground into that lower area, and you can like get into it and go down like a staircase to a lower area to that lower area, and so like people could snipe across it. And Mortal Engine, yes, that's it, Mortal Engines. And then I had the idea that there would be one side's base would be on one side and one side's base would be on the other. Excuse me. Yeah, that's it, yeah. and there would be a switch where you could make the gondola change direction. And I wanted capture the flag on this map, so you could get in a warthog and try to drive across the top, but across the dirt like ground. But I was thinking about making that somehow, maybe put landmines to make it dangerous, but also make it dangerous because like you could just get shot from the people on the gondola, you could get shot by people at the bases and stuff like that more easily. But inside here, you have sort of protection. And it's similar to the train heist idea, except for that this one's on a rail going straight back and forth. Dang, I remember paying $20 to see that film. Not worth it. Yeah, I waited until it was on like Netflix or something. Or maybe I got it from Redbox. Like $1 or something. But yeah, it was worth it for how much I paid, but I can imagine $20 wasn't worth it. I would say the visuals were worth it for like the free or, or whatever I paid, but the story was still pretty meh and stuff. And yeah, but yeah. So the point is though that this thing would be really cool if it's like a thing where like you get the enemy flag and you get inside the gondola and you're moving across the map, and other people may get into warthogs and drive up to try and catch up to you because it moves slower than a warthog. And basically rush to get to you and stop it, and maybe get to the controls. Instead of get to you, they can get to the controls of the gondola, flip a switch, and make it start going the opposite direction back to your base, or back to their base. And then, of course, down underground, it would be above an abyss. So once you get down there, you could repulsor the flag carrier off the platform, off of certain areas where there's no railing. Or you could, do whatever else. But basically, there's a bunch of ideas that I had for that one. Hester Shaw, bad story, awesome scenery. Yeah. Yeah. And very inspiring, like, stuff. Super inspirational, like, visuals, you know what I mean? Visual design. That, yeah, no. This is also kind of a lot like my D&D campaign, by the way, but they're not like vehicle or like a gondola, the things that are in my campaign. There's like giant I call them roving dungeons, and they're pretty cool. Basically it's like it's based on it's really, I can't take all the credit because it's based on that anime Sinbad. It's very similar to Sinbad's dungeons, but I completely twisted the lore of why they're there and everything like that, so that they're completely original at that point. But the giant walking dungeon thing. Anyway, I need to get back to forging, I'm pretty sure, because some people are not here for the conversation. Well, who knows? But let's see. So this was my idea for that particular image. I took their entire thing, and every single one of their images inspired a map. Well, they had like 20 of them or 19 of them or something like that. And technically a few of them seemed like they would fit the same map. But basically, yeah, every single one of them basically inspired a map. Okay, so I'm realizing that now I need this to be lining up even. Like, oh, it lines up on this side. This is the side it's supposed to be lined up on. But it's still not right because of that. Do I have a slope at the bottom? Am I supposed to be... Do I have a piece missing? Oh, let me lock that before I mess up that piece of the channel is going to get locked. There we go. I'm going to end up messing it up. Okay, so let's look down here. There is a slope, and I've been forgetting to put that in, and I'm going to have to put that in all of them now. Okay. I didn't put that on any of them. But what that does is... Whoops. Is that... Oh, you know what else? I need to get back to my internet tab because that's where my proper chat is. It's more... It seems to update faster than OBS. I never thought about using AI to get map concept ideas. I need to get AI to give me orbital elevator concepts. That would be really cool. And like, yeah, it's like, it was such a cool idea, and they did it, and I was like, and after I saw it, I was like, okay, I want to make some of these. Would it be okay if I steal the idea? And he was like, it's not stealing because I didn't intend to make them myself anyway. I was like, okay, cool. He said, also, it's not just the visual. This inspired a mechanic for a map. This inspired a different mechanic for a map. Actually, I will show you that. Maybe I should let you guys tell me what you want me to do next, actually, because I've got the train idea, and that may or may not be possible, depending on if we can do enough objects. I used AI to make concept art for my video game. It's so good, especially when you don't know how to draw. Yeah, I did it for my game as well, and I was using it as an inspiration to... No, it wasn't for my game. It wasn't for my video game. I used it to come up with really cool concepts for... I was making a card game. I'm ADHD, I'm pretty sure. I have a project for my own card game, like Magic the Gathering, but with original rules that completely change how it's played, but similar to Magic the Gathering otherwise. I've got a video game. I have 2 video games in the works, and I'm making Forge and trying to stream. So everything else is shelved right now because, like I said, I'm like ADHD or something. I keep on dropping everything and going to a new hobby. But anyway, this one though works with my ADHD and draws me in, and it's sort of getting so I'm hoping that this will pan out a little more, because I just get in and start going and talk to you guys, and it seems to work out. It seems to be working out so far. So and you can tell I'm going all over the place because I was about to show you the map ideas and ask you about it, and I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to stretch my thing again and pull up all of these and show you what I have in mind. And if someone steals the idea, like I said, as long as you do it justice, I'm cool with that. Because I've got all of these ideas, and there will be more in the future. Let's see. Dropping projects is the story of my life. Yeah, right? I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be ADHD. That's the cause for that, for me, at least. Okay, we're gonna bring this up. Man, it looks like I'm looking up at the image. Okay. So this was the first one. The idea was to use player scaling. This grassy area right here inspired... Can I zoom in? I'm gonna zoom in. Let's make this bigger so you can kind of see it. It kind of ruins it kind of pixelates it, but still. So this grassy area right here, as it says up here, yeah, I got ringed by unique biomes. This structure serves as an environmental control hub, because I saw this and I immediately thought of Termina from Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. And I was like, what if that's a grassy area? What if there's a snowy area? What if there's a rocky area? You can steal that one all day long. I'm perfectly fine with you just taking that one. This is the one that I want to really do, because, or if possible, and that's if possible, so I'll do this if it's possible. The inner grassy field is a tiny big team battle map in which scaled down players face off with vehicles within the greater arena style map. So scaling down doesn't work as well because your gun gets huge and it looks terrible. The idea, so instead, and also it would be easier to build this one, the arena style, the 4v4 arena style map around it at a higher scale than it would be to build the big team battle map at a lower scale, because this big team battle, it's going to have more parts. And actually, if I have enough space to do it, I could theoretically throw any big team battle map into this. So I could make this part a prefab and make it work with any big team battle map and drop this into any map. So I could even put Waterworks into this and make it like it's a little like projected or slip space field, like compressed space, projected reality down in there. And basically I was thinking it'd be a teleports you into the big team battle map, and when you teleport, it also shrinks you. And I would do a custom script teleporter instead of their built-in teleporters, so that I can just make the script shrink you at the same time that it moves you. And basically at the exact same time. And so, except instead what I'm going to do is grow you whenever you go to the bigger arena. Because I think that, yes, it will be really weird to have your gun be tiny in your hand, because the gun doesn't scale with the player. But at the same time, it's got, I mean, the possibilities are so great that, like, I don't care, because the gameplay would be really fun, and it would be a little janky. It would probably never end up in a playlist, like an official playlist, but it would be really cool. And then we've got this one, where I wanted to make a sort of game, mini game. Territorial lines reach out from the central tower, drawn through solid stone. Was this some Forerunner sport or warfare simulation? The destructive events erupting throughout would suggest a near-lethal game if so. So the idea was make a sort of map that works like territories, where these sections change color as you claim them, and put respawn points in some of them that like only activate for your team if you have control over it, and other events occur where like maybe on a timer or something to that effect, or maybe something you can activate. Like I had the idea that like if you claimed all these, for example, there would be an activation point, or like all these and this one, then I could put a little piece here that's like an activation point, and if you flip it, all of these raise out of the ground and become cover for your team, and you could like restructure the terrain based on that. And that's what I had in mind for the, and or like maybe there's an area where like the lights would, I also had in mind to maybe have the lights warn you by turning, like these are red and those are yellow and these are blue. If I was hoping that there was an option to do a texture that was team colored, like the Forerunner Emissive, but Forerunner Emissive team color. And I think they could do that, but obviously we would have to get 343 Industries on board to convince them that this is something we want. And there's a request form, so maybe I should just go request it. Yeah, there's a forum post rather, not form. And then so I have no idea if like this is entertaining anyone, because like, yeah, okay, cool, we've got a lot of people in no one quit. Okay. Basically, because I was in the wrong screen up there. So basically, yeah, that was the idea, was that you've got this kind of like really interactive map. Maybe gravlifts appear, maybe shield bubbles appear, maybe or like, you know, energy fields, you know, and stuff like that. And like the unclaimed areas that just have white color or something like that would be or maybe just turn off, the light is off. The unclaimed areas would be would have like nothing going on. You're gonna call me Woodforge. Yes, Woodforge. I mean, I will forge this given enough time. And let's see. So then there's this map, which is the one that we talked about earlier, with this sort of what was the word? Mortal Engine style thing going across and going down and all that stuff I described earlier. By the way, I wanted to make this, and then I wanted to make another version of it that was like a plus sign track with like maybe shorter sections on the side that would go out to like kind of like loot cave style areas of the map that would help let you dominate better. Or maybe make them, it's a full-blown plus, not like a T, where the other directions are the full length, and then just make four bases and make it like 4 team, you know? Anyway, this was the J. Maxson Academy of Military Science teaches one must control the war that rages even while facing off in a firefight with the enemy. A simulated war at your feet provides special objectives. So the idea for this was Spartans are training to be able to give orders to other troops like Marines on the battlefield if they end up being the highest ranking officer in the area, while also engaging in combat. So that's what this training is for, to be able to split your mind between the two concepts. But what I had in mind was there would be like objectives at time. I was hoping to scale vehicles, which now I know you can, make it so where you can't get into them, and put them onto a tiny battlefield at your feet that sort of like you interact with, and like, okay, tanks now come in and they start like showing up and they start shooting at the enemy, so you're winning in this area, and then make that affect the actual arena in some way, and like spawning a rocket launcher for you because now you've got tanks on the battlefield, that kind of thing. But have every section of this has a different little scenario. Like one of them would have like a space simulation with ships fighting each other, and whenever you go there and interact with it, you would be able to make, you know, different stuff. And it'd be like the hacking the doors, you know, and where you can, like, you know, whenever you hack the door, you have a countdown timer before it actually opens. The loot cave doors. Well, you'd have to like hold the position. You'd activate it and then hold the position, and then you would be able to take control of that area. And there are other ideas like, okay, there's a power generator. Like, oh, that's right. One of the ship ones was that both ships are both sides of the battle are down, like an EMP, like maybe a Forerunner, maybe Cortana EMP'd the ships, and you go grab a seed, and you carry it to the ship and put it in the ship. And when you do, it powers up your ship in that area, and it simulates that you have recovered, your engineering crew has recovered your power faster, and now your ship is going to start taking out the enemy. And then this one was just like, this one actually I thought of, I just liked this one, as visuals were kind of cool, and I was going to potentially make that the big team battle map that was in that one, so technically this isn't a separate map. This one's really cool that they generated, that their AI generated, that I was just gonna make this and just make it. and then make a separate version where I copy it and put it over here. And I see it as an island, like it says up here. Like these are spotlights pointing at the city, or at the island, and the UNSC is using it as a training outpost. And if I was going to copy it and flip it around, like not mirror it, but rotate it around so that it's like a yin yang. And I just thought this map would make a really good, map. It's just a great map. It's just a great idea. And this looks like a, obviously that's a Blood Gulch base. So, with some alterations, there's like little pieces here that I was going to make like ramps to go up there. Like this one I was going to make this almost exactly as you see it. And then this was one that someone else was already doing that I saw on Twitter, where I wanted to make a TAC map. And I was going to keep it secret at the time, and then someone else, because I knew that someone was going to try to steal it, and at the time I was like, I want to be the one who makes this. But now someone else started doing it, so I'm like, okay, well, here's my ideas, and I just flooded in with ideas of what I was going to do with it. It's like a TAC map where it's in your base, and you can point to the TAC map and ping the TAC map, and it would add a King of the Hill spot to that point on the overarching map. Like the TAC map is a small area in your base that like tracks the movement of players. Cortana EMP me, yeah. Or imp me, if you want to pronounce it. Or if you want to say like a word, EMP me. So basically, you've got this like they built it to where they have the map and it's tracking the player locations. And I keep popping my fingers right in front of the thing just by moving them. That's my whole body pops. So the point is that if you they had the hollow table, and they're putting little dots on it to represent the different players, and it's really cool and it's really exciting. And if you go find them on Twitter, I wish I could just tell you who it was specifically, but I think it was someone I didn't know until I saw them doing this. But anyway. And they've got that going, and I was like, okay, that's what I wanted to do, and I could just use yours and keep going from it, but obviously you're doing it. So here are the ideas I was going to use that for, and I told him I would if you ping the actual hollow table, it generates a King of the Hill point at that location on the map. And I was also thinking that I would put actual tiny terrain as my hollow table to look like the actual world, the actual map that you're playing on. His was just the hollow table, and it was flat, and it was just like the grid. So you couldn't really tell where you were pinging on the greater map. So I wasn't sure, basically I was just getting him to get to that point, if he's going to go that way. And basically, yeah, that was the idea, and other objectives as well. Like if you could do something to get a bomb to deliver. Yeah, I'm definitely losing viewers by the second by not forging and instead talking about my ideas, my future ideas. This was a cool one where I just had an interesting map idea, and I'd have this sand sort of rise up from the ground and sort of like fill these cracks, and the sand is like a nanomachine sand. That was like an earlier version of the answer to the flood, that would like a gray goo that would just disintegrate everything, so it would kill you if you touch it. And that was the idea. It was a pretty cool map, and I have some specifics on there. My kids just woke up, so I'll probably have to go soon, so I'll just quickly go through the rest of these. This is more of that. It more inspires more of that. And we loop. So yeah, that was basically that. This one's going to be really cool. I was thinking about doing that. So I was just wondering, after having listed all of them, what you think about which one I should do next. I've got the train idea, all of those now. What is y'all's favorite out of all of those that you would like to play on? In the future, people are going to watch this video and say, this is why Waterworks was never finished. Yes. Yeah, they might, but that's why I'm grinding away at Waterworks and not doing all the really cool, unique, clever ideas I have for new maps, and why I'm just trying to get this one done. But yeah, I could clip this section of the video and of the stream and explain that away perfectly, because this could easily have been, this hallway would be done by now if I hadn't just paused to do this. So yeah, okay, so I have got to go apparently now, so I guess I'll do some more building off stream. This hallway will be done by tomorrow, and I'll probably actually be, I named this building a bridge. I named this one building a bridge and then didn't build the bridge. Instead, I built the tunnel the opposite direction. Yeah, I'll rename this stream. I'll mulligan, rename the stream after I'm done, and call it building a tunnel. But yeah, the train idea is too ambitious. I'd wait until enough people have more time with scripting. Specifically, Clint. Once Clint has that one done, I think that would be more possible. I think that the what do you call it? The Mortal Engines one would be more possible right after Clint finishes. The scripting of the train track is the part that's really going to make it especially difficult, because not only does it need to move all the objects at once, like Clint's code, but also they have to move along a track and turn at the appropriate time and follow behind each other without, like, just, you know, losing track of the entire thing, going off track, and everything like that. So yeah, I think that one is the most ambitious and most difficult. But that's the one that, like, maybe that's one that we could collaborate on. Like, if like I wanted to, like, if you guys actually wanted to work together on a map, we could maybe put that one together. Like, if one of us is building out, like, we could each have a train car. Yeah, the turning is scary. Exactly, that's the hard part, is making it turn as it goes around the curve of the track. But what I was gonna kind of do to make that not look so janky is make it a mag rail, you know, a maglev train. And I was gonna make it. I was debating if I wanted it to be a UNSC train or a Forerunner train. And a Forerunner train would be really easy because it'd just be like a glowing orb, and on the bottom, a couple glowing orbs on the bottom of the car, and then when it rotates, it rotates. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even necessarily have to stay in a line like a train. It could get a little off, because it's, you know, light fields and energy fields, artificial gravity and stuff like that, so they'd have tolerance to be able to make it move and weird and stuff. I don't know, but the point is, yeah, it's easy. Okay, well, if it's easy, we just need to be sure that server can handle the computing. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, if once you have your thing, we can just, honestly, you're gonna have your video to make it. If you end up making a prefab of that little, oh, jeez, I slapped that to the wrong side. That's right, I knew that. I knew I did that wrong. Because I had to deal with this earlier. I had to do this one first and then snap the other one to it. So basically, yeah, it, once you do yours, if we just have that little ship that you built, that displayed it in the video that you gave us last time, then, with just that little ship, we could just put a whole bunch of those in a map and have them moving and just test the server. Real easy. Script gods with them thick brains, thick script brains. Yeah, I'm more like a script lord, not even like prince. Like, so yeah, everything I do, I end up asking Clint for help for something involving it. What is happening? Oh, this is an angle. I wasn't supposed to turn that around. There we go. But yeah, it's crazy. So those are, like, yeah, I've got a bunch of ideas, and I'll go with them eventually. And I'm just gonna finish this section, and then I'm gonna probably have to go because, like I said, kids broke up. Gotta feed them. They need food. So that's another reason why my projects are never finished. I just, you know, I've got kids, gotta take care of them, and they come first. One of my indie games I was working on is a first-person shooter, and one of them is a goofy game. You know Sneaking? Do you remember Sneaking on the Nintendo? I mean, on the Xbox 360, back at right whenever it launched. It's kind of like that. I just deleted that instead of duplicating it. It's a little bit like Sneaking. It's kind of like got the same feel, I guess, like vibe. Okay, this is not snapping to that, and it's frustrating. Anyway, yeah, I gotta go, because my kids need me. Oh, I'm like a script peasant. I get hyped when the "you did it right" noise happens. I mean, I think everyone gets hyped when that happens. That's just programmers. That's like, oh man, it's working now. I don't even know what I did, but it's working. Or I saved it off and reopened it, and now it's working, but it wasn't working before. The BK game was awesome for $3 exactly, and I think I got it for like $5 whenever, because it was when they stopped having it. It was used at GameStop, and it was actually really sought after because of how goofy of a game it is. Actually, really fun and stupid. So I just so it was used at a GameStop, so I had to get it for more than the price of what it was originally if you bought it from Burger King. But yes, adios. I will see you all next time. Yeah, I'll probably, like I said, this tunnel will be done, and I'll be actually working on the bridge. I might even be done with the bridge by then. Who knows? But yeah, so